It is, absolutely. All right, I think we have a recording from Zoom on. We are both on. Definitely want to make special mention that we are recording this, so anybody that joins on, we'll just let them know that they are being recorded. Hello, Andre. Welcome, welcome.
Yay. Hey, it's on. Oh, Andre. Hey.
Yay. Let's see. I believe, let's see. Yes, invite Andre as a speaker so we can hear him.
Hello.
Yay. Welcome, Andre. So good to hear your voice.
I know, I was so excited with your invite yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to get on. And then I spent like half the day trying to figure out how to do this. And yeah, it was very interesting.
Oh, super cool. I'm so excited to have you on. And, Maria and I love talking about skincare and food. So like, you're just the best person to be here too, because I know you have the same passions as well.
Right? I was like, oh, skincare and food, my two favorites, right? And my favorite people, like the best.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, you should really do like a cooking class for real.
Yes.
Maybe if I get the time in the future.
Because like I've seen your tutorial on Instagram and I think it just looks so amazing, everything you make.
It really does.
Thank you.
I know. I still want to play with ginger more. You really inspired me with some of your recipes that you use with ginger, and I love the technique you shared with using this spoon. So I need to like get out of my comfort zone of just using ginger that is in a jar that's already been minced and actually get some fresh ginger.
Well, that's my thing with like garlic too. Like I hate peeling and chopping garlic. And so it's just not the same when you get the one in the jar. And then I always see these vlogs and I see these little snippets from like chefs who are like, well, if you use pre-minced garlic, like you don't deserve to use garlic. I'm like, oh, that's me.
Oh my goodness. You gotta, no shame though. You gotta start somewhere. And I mean, there has to be some convenience at some point.
Yes, and I'm starting to just like, when it comes to cooking right now, my whole thing is convenience at the moment because it's just so go, go, go. And it's kind of like I'm falling back into that routine where I'm trying not to just eat out constantly because I want to cook, but I understand why people, like there's prepackaged things. Like normally I would, when I walk in a Safeway, I see like, oh, there's chopped up like, mushrooms and chopped up fruits and vegetables. I'm like, I don't need to get that. I can always chop it myself. But then I realized like, do I want to chop it myself? Like, no, I don't have time.
That's amazing.
The worst thing I do is I get over excited when I see pineapples and papayas and all things that require a lot of peeling and prepping and chopping. And then it ends up sitting there and then it goes bad. And that's, that beats the purpose.
Yeah.
Well, I've been like certain things, like I would always tell Jolie, my roommate, I'm like, why are you getting chopped mangoes or like, peeled mangoes? Just peel them yourself. And then I realized I literally like it's just so hard to peel them. So go for it.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. We just had some fresh mangoes last night. Aaliyah loves eating mangoes. So after we chop all the meat off of there, she'll take the seed and just like chew on the seed for hours. She loves that thing.
Andre, did you ever, were you ever told not to eat the back part of a mango?
No, I've never heard that.
What is the back part of a mango?
Where the mango would be hanging from the branch?
Oh,
yes.
And it's usually the sweetest part of a mango, and I still eat them anyway. But my mom used to tell me, no, you can't eat that part because it's going to make your throat hurt.
Huh. So maybe the levels of sugar or acidity is going to vary depending on where it's sitting in the sun?
I don't know, maybe because it's where the source of all the nutrients come in from, and then it's such a concentrated flavor there. But that part where the branch would fall out from, that's always the sweetest part of a mango.
Huh. Very interesting. I've never heard that before. My grandmother had papayas next to her kitchen window that she grew. Which, given I haven't had a fresh papaya in a long time, but we eat a lot of mangoes in this house. Well, I do want to make mention that we are recording this. Our idea is to go through and actually start a little archive of our discussions that we have, so we can always go back and use those for information and just kind of, listen to some of the conversations we had previously and just continue to build our network in the space and skincare and food. So thank you so much for being on for our inaugural start of our channel.
Of course, I was so excited. Like, again, like when I saw it, I was like, I need to be on this. I was trying, I might have to hop off in just a sec, but I was just so excited. And is this something that's going to be ongoing?
It is definitely going to be ongoing. I think we're probably going to still figure out what the best time of the day is. I've been loving listening to these podcasts during my lunch break and throughout the day. I know everybody's time is different. So I don't know. I had a feeling that this needed to start, as Maria knows, I didn't sleep all night. I was like, we need to start on Tuesday. It needs to be at 12:30. So we'll look and see, what day and time works best, but it's definitely going to be once a week.
Oh, perfect. I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hop off. But where can we listen to the recordings?
We have a website that we're putting together, which will probably take a little bit longer. So we do have a YouTube channel. So I think probably we'll just publish it there for YouTube first, because that's the easy one. And the YouTube channel is under our name, Skincare and Food, spelled out. And that way you'll see the podcast there.
Perfect. All right. I got to hop off, but I will talk to you guys hopefully next week.
Yes.
And listen in as soon as I can.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love the support from our community. The skincare community is something that, with working in two different areas of the country and, being in the Southeast and then coming out here to the West Coast, I've noticed there's just really some amazing kindness that's out there. And I love that, to be able to have those connections with people, and you just have that real kindness and support. It's just kind of overwhelming. I'm really appreciative.
I've been working in the beauty industry, especially in the Bay Area. Everybody is so supportive of one another, and that's definitely something that I'm thankful for.
100%. I don't know. I feel that anybody who's ever shown me kindness at any point in my life, like, it doesn't matter what level it is or how big or small, even if sometimes they don't realize it, I'm always going to be a cheerleader. Like, I'm like, I don't know, like I'll always be sitting by positive vibes and love appreciation. If you've ever been kind to me or helped me, like I will always send you lots of love and positivity.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a reason we love to work together all the time.
Yes, agreed. Yes, we definitely have, I think, very similar character traits. I know that was one of the first things I remembered with working together in store. Obviously the work ethic's there. I think both of us just have that such personal drive, and we always want to be able to strive to be the best that we can be. I know that sounds trite, but in all authenticness. And certainly I love your passion for wanting to learn, certainly being able to nerd out on just new information and obviously anything that's going on in the industry.
Well, can you believe it's been, 5 years since we first met?
No, I can't believe there's been a start time. Yeah.
And I think the fact that you're so into ingredients and knowledge and just education in general, that's what drew me to you right from the very beginning, when I was still a skincare consultant at Valley Fair with Sephora. So I think our connection started there.
Yeah, it definitely did. It definitely did. And I love the fact that our kind of life pathways and journeys have kind of gone in different areas, but still paralleled at the same time. To me, I think that's a real testament of having that real friendship, is that you can continue to go in different paths, but you still have that line that you meet on, and that commonality that's there.
And it's interesting because we can't come from more different backgrounds, right? I'm an immigrant from Southeast Asia. I was, 16. It's been a long time. And my first background wasn't even in skincare. So my first background was in music. And it's interesting that I ended up in this path, still teaching. I was teaching in music, but I'm still teaching in skincare nonetheless, which is a completely different topic.
It is a different topic, but I don't know. I always go back to physics with everything. So certainly there has to be some common streams that go through. So what sort of commonalities have you seen either in, I guess, sharing information or kind of how, I guess, the process works and learning music opposed to, learning skincare?
It's all about details, right? Doesn't matter what you learn. A lot of it is also about details. So it could be anything that you learn. It could be cooking, it could be skincare, it could be learning how to play an instrument, but you really have to pay attention to all those little details. And I think it all started when, I started having problems with my skin. And at the time, I didn't really understand a lot about skincare. That was quite a while ago. And as you learn, you start learning about ingredients, how ingredients work, how to put ingredients together, how to put products together. And that way you start kind of building a library of knowledge for yourself. And when people are sharing similar issues, that's when you feel like, oh, maybe I can help them. Yeah. You start sharing this information with other people. And I guess that's where the commonality happens, because teaching is teaching of what the subject is.
Well, I think certainly the commonality in that is the fact that it's coming from passion and personal experience. I feel that I get more excited about being able to relay information if it's something that I'm already interested in, right? I don't know if you feel the same way about that.
Absolutely. I don't believe in doing something that I have no passion for. To me, it's never always just about a job. It's more about what's behind what I do. That's basically how I make my decisions in deciding on to do something. But it's never about, oh yeah, this is just the job that I want to do for the next 5-10 years. The passion has to be there. Because if you're going to be doing something on a daily basis, might as well be something that you really like to do, that you're really passionate about.
Oh, I agree 100%. I believe passion definitely has been my life path. And I've said it many a times, I work because I have to.
Right.
But I work in a place and within an industry that I'm passionate about because I have to have that connection. I have to have that drive, and it gets me excited, and it makes me want to continue to push myself and to learn and to grow, and to get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of like what you're talking about in the beginning, about just pushing yourself out of the comfort zone with cooking. Same thing with everything else that we learn, including learning about skincare, right? But you've always been doing a lot of skincare since you were young.
Yes, and skincare, especially in the natural-based realm, has come leaps and bounds. I remember growing up that my mother used to buy skincare at the health food store.
Yeah.
And that was really the only space that you were able to find products that had, more natural-based ingredients. Not that that's the only way, but, things that were going to be good for us having sensitive skin. Living in Southwest Florida at the time with the humidity, you didn't want anything that was just too heavy and overly, fragranced, and something that would actually work on the skin and not just set on the surface, that had some sort of heavy waxes or heavy plastics in it. But it's interesting. I should look up some of the brands and see if they are still in existence. I remember some of the labels and seeing them in my mom's cabinet, and it just is, it's interesting to see how much it's grown. But I see that yet again with parallels with food. I was raised a third generation vegetarian. And so, certainly growing up and the types of foods and things that were available were definitely different than what is now. As far as pre-made, although I guess at the end of the day, it's like if it comes out of the earth and it's ready to go, it's been the same since the beginning of people farming and gathering. But I've definitely seen the realm of kind of clean-based skincare and clean-based eating grow substantially in my lifetime.
Yeah, I guess that's another thing that we do have in common, that we do love natural-based and plant-based products.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I found to be the most helpful for my skin.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not to knock on any brand or any products out there, because everybody is different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every skin is so different.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many variables even within skin types. So if you're allergic to a lot of natural ingredients, obviously natural-based product is not for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but just so happens natural worked really, really well for my skin. I realized that the hard way after I used so many different products that didn't work. And then the solution was plant-based products for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, being able to have something that, well, I don't know. I love ingredients. I love being able to look at the ingredient list and at least have an idea of, I don't know, a third of it of what it means. If not, I'm looking it up and wanting to do research. But you kind of mentioned really paying attention to how your skin can shift and change. And I've noticed from, living in the Southeast to moving to the West Coast, my skin changed so much without having humidity. I didn't realize how much my hair and my skin really needed that. And I had to shift. And then certainly going through different stages in my life. And, now with being in my 40s and having a 21-month-old baby and going through pregnancy and the kind of after effects in there and how skin can shift. So I think it's important to really look at what your skin is doing. I'm a big believer that our bodies know ourselves better than anybody else, and we should just listen. And something that worked great may not work, or maybe it does and it continues to be the best that we have. And then you can always kind of pepper in something new.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting because even all those products out there, they're created with the best intentions at heart, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not always working for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
If I can come up with one product that works for 100% of the people, probably be richer than Jeff Bezos. But no, that's not the case because there's so many variables. Like I said, with skincare or even with food, there's so many allergy potentials. There's formulation, differentiation and formulation that makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's not just the ingredients. Also, a lot of the times too.
100%. I think that's actually a really excellent point, that what works really great for somebody may not work great for you, and vice versa. I'm a big believer that the world has so many different plants and ingredients that are out there. And that's why we have all these wonderful options. If you're in Africa and you want to find a fantastic way to be able to moisturize the skin and hold in hydration, you're going to go to the Cara tree. You're going to get your shea butter, and that's going to be a fantastic option for you. If you're in Italy and you want to be able to find the best moisturizer for your skin to be able to hold in that hydration, you're going to go to the olive tree and you're going to get that great olive oil.
Totally.
So to me, I don't know, that's why I love being able to learn and continue to learn about all the different options that there are, all over the world that are available.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, interestingly enough, when you mention about that, I think nature already provided what we need.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we just don't know how to get it.
True. And I think it's important, you know how much I love science. Science has been a lifelong passion of mine. And that's why I think it's so interesting to really look into some of the green sciences like biotechnology and what already is in nature. How can you take that to the next level? I think it's fascinating, and it's ever changing and growing. And I love seeing what's going on right now with, you know, kind of looking for some more sustainable options and ingredients, and also in packaging too. I love the space now that's really kind of growing, and companies that are finding bioplastics and alternatives to using petrol-based components for products.
Yeah, technology for sustainable packaging has come a long way as well. You know, just as clean skincare has, or plant-based skincare has. So now they're coming out with infinity plastic. So plastic that has been heat treated so that you can form it into whatever shape, and you could recycle it infinite number of times, because plastic has a shelf life. So after it's recycled, typically standard plastic, once it's recycled for X number of times, then you can't recycle it anymore. Then it goes into the landfill. But now they've discovered a new technology where you can actually recycle it infinite number of times. So it reduces the amount of plastic that goes into the landfill. And I think that's really amazing. You know, technology and science have come a long way for a lot of different things.
They really have. And I love that you brought that up, because I didn't know about that until just a couple of years ago. It wasn't until I was volunteering at the Marine Mammal Center, which, you know, I went there because I love animals, and I knew they were going to be, you know, it's a hospital to help all these marine animals, but I didn't realize the conservation side and education that went along with it, which I absolutely adored. And that's when I first learned that, you know, plastic can't always be recycled, you know, and even the ones that have numbers, you know, that are able to be recycled, that doesn't mean that they can be recycled, you know, more than once. And I didn't realize that growing up. You know, I remember, you know, thinking, oh, it's recycled, let's put it in the recycle bin and we're doing our job there. It doesn't end there. It's really being able to take a closer look of how is it being recycled? Where is it going to be recycled? Is it actually going to be recycled? And really, what are some options?
That's the biggest question. Will it be recycled even if you put it in the recycle bin?
Yeah.
Because if the machine doesn't read it, then it goes to landfill anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of factors. I remember growing up, we didn't use a lot of tissue or paper towel or, you know, things that's disposable. We don't use plastic wrap. We don't use aluminum foil. If we need to cover something, we use a reusable, kind of like a cover for your food on the table. So, but we don't use anything that's disposable a lot growing up. I'd use handkerchief. I don't know if you've ever used handkerchief before, but I used to have a collection of handkerchief because we just don't use tissue all that much. But I think we've kind of deviated from that so much for convenience.
Yeah, I have an antique handkerchief from a great aunt just because it's a family heirloom. We do use cloth napkins in our house. But
yeah. So we've increased the use of cloth napkins and try to minimize the use of disposable paper towels.
Nice.
As much as we can. It's not easy because once you got used to that convenience, it's hard to go back to, okay, now I have to wash these towels and I have to have enough towels to last me for the week until the next wash day. So, but it's, you know, it's a process.
I think it's just having a plan. That's probably one of the biggest things I learned about being a mom, is having that preparation ahead of time. You know, whether it's meal planning and having, you know, all of our meat prepared, our main dish, you know, on Sundays, and it's ready to go so we can just grab it and throughout the week and be ready. You know, whether it's having, one of the biggest game changers I had for making sure I started doing my skincare after I had my daughter, after about the first 3 months after having her, I didn't do any skincare because I just didn't have, I don't know, I didn't take the time for myself. And so when I just put everything into one container, I have this cosmetic train case that, that I love, and I carry everything for my nighttime products in there, and it's just become a part of that routine. And I think the same thing goes with, planning for your household, just having a plan and kind of going through and also seeing if that's not working, try something else.
Right. Yeah. I'd be surprised if your daughter doesn't end up being a skincare fiend.
Yeah. Well, she already does skincare with me at night. In fact, I'll probably record it at some point because it's really cute. We sit on the couch together, and before it's time to do skincare, she gets all excited, and she knows how to pick out the bottles, and she'll hand them to me, and she'll play with some and put lotion on her legs and her arms and her face, and I'll use my routine as I go through. And I love the fact that the products that I'm using, I feel confident. The fact that my 21-year-old baby is using it, that it's something that is, safe ingredients for her. Obviously, I want to make sure it's safe for me, but even more so for her,
Right.
being as young as she is. And so I love it. It's a wonderful bonding moment that we have. And really it's setting up that learning process for her as she goes through her life to be able to take care of her skin and continue.
Yeah, it's so different when you have a boy, because boys, they don't particularly care. A lot of them, mine is 14 years old, and he's beginning to have some issues with some breakouts. And it always does better when he actually takes care of his skin, but doesn't always happen. Yes. If it happens once a day, it's already good enough. But it's a completely different mindset, I think. With, I guess I shouldn't generalize, but in my son, the 14-year-old boy, he doesn't really care to do his regimen as regularly as he should. And it certainly will not be a bonding moment if we do a facial together. If we talk about Star Wars, then that will be a bonding moment for him and me.
I love it. I love it. Well, it could be Star Wars with a mask. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Hey, that's the next project, a Star Wars mask.
There you go. There you go. Definitely.
A biodegradable sheet mask in the shape of Darth Vader.
There you go. I was thinking of Yoda, but right on. I was thinking of like a little green with the ears. I love those Yoda ears.
I know they have the cute headbands with a bunny ear, which I have one. I'm not too ashamed to admit it. I have a bunny ear headband. I think they should be Yoda ear headband.
There are. Yeah.
Behind the curve.
Yeah. No. Well, I'll look for one. Yeah, I was looking for one for Aaliyah I don't know, for something, because why not? Why not, for sure. So, I love it.
That's very cute. Hey, that's a project I can do, right? Just look for things that would have been thrown out and create a Yoda ear headband. Yes,
I love doing that. I don't know. I always try to think of saving little ribbons or buttons or whatnot. And I've been trying to put everything together. I think that's what I need next, is I need some sort of container for all of my crafting items to go through, because there's always some random sequin or glitter or button or something that I feel like can go in some fun little project. And I certainly have some headbands around here that are not being used, by all means.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
Repurposing.
Yes, definitely. Repurposing, keeping it out of the landfill by all means. I'm trying to think about when I am buying, ribbons for her, trying to buy ribbons that aren't petrol based. They're not, plastics, polyester, trying to find, more natural materials and cottons and rayons and whatnot. So just trying to be more conscious of that and doing so.
And support local. I think that's very, very important too.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Well, it's been about 30 minutes. I'm trying to keep our time frame just nice and concise. Thank you so much for for starting this journey with me, Maria. I'm so excited.
Thank you for having the idea. I thought it was a fantastic idea. And hopefully we'll have more of this, you know, just open up conversation about different topics, including skincare and food.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. And this we will post on our YouTube channel first, just because that's a nice, even open space for everybody to find. And then we'll go from there. Good deal. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll meet next week.
Bye.
All right. Bye.